faces today, but don't worry, you will not have to listen to me speaking for too much longer. But I wanted to take the opportunity while we get our Summer TLI underway to thank you all for a phenomenal Toastmasters year. And I, for one, am looking forward to another amazing year in my new roles, and I wish you all the best of luck in any new leadership roles or challenges that you have taken on for the coming year. And congratulations to all for the challenges that you have completed in this one. Now, without further ado, I would like to bring our Summer TLI formally into session. Please everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us both here in person at Westmoreland and our amazing community of Toastmasters who are joining us online. Hello everybody! And now I will, with great enthusiasm, turn our Summer TLI over for our Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Tamika Leslie.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Good. You're here on a Saturday morning. And it's summer, officially. Good morning, Toastmasters. Welcome to the District 13 Summer TLI Club Officer Training. Are you excited to be here? I have a fun question for you. How many of you overslept this morning? Just me and the person that I carpooled with? I'm here. I'm proud of that. We have a great day of training for you today. In your program, you will find today's agenda. Does everyone have an agenda for today? Open those books. And in that book, it was pointed out to me, this is a fun fact, I am going into the role of Division B Director, and my name is Tamika Riley. I am sisters with the going out Division B Director, Lindy Riley. So if you didn't get what I was just saying, my name is Tamika Leslie, and it says Tamika Riley. All right. All right, please read over today's schedule. We have some housekeeping items for our in-person attendees. There are signs in the hall directing you to the restrooms and breakout classes. Let's begin with a welcome from our District Director, Stephanie Scott. It's on.
Hello? Yeah, it's actually on. Well, Tamika got sleep. Guess who hasn't had any sleep? Me. That is why you have Tamika Riley. You have Jane Humphreys. And you have Douglas, who's not here, but is Kathy Wolf. But really fun fact, Kathy Wolf has done all 3 roles this year, so let's give Kathy a You know that I love you Toastmasters. I love our leaders. I love what you do for our members. And I love the fact that you're going into a new year bringing new energy, new ideas, and new thoughts. But, as Gene Humphreys would tell you, it is not over until June 30th. 11:59 Mountain Time, which means it's 2 o'clock. It's 1:59 our time. We have an incredible chance to be Smedley Distinguished again. We look at the dashboard, and some of you are like, what is the dashboard? I don't know what she's talking about. When you get told what the dashboard is, and as you learn today, you will see that our district has an amazing chance, according to our immediate past district director, to meet that challenge again. It's a conversation, honestly, with your clubs, with your members. We bring a valuable gift to people. You know how much Toastmasters can change your life. You know how it can change the trajectory of your career. You know how it can improve your interpersonal relationships. So why not share this gift and bring it to more people? I'd like to know, who do we have as members of new clubs or new clubs to be? Please stand. Come on, Cosmos, don't be silly. Yeah. All right. And how many first-time TLI people do we have here today? Please stand. We want to thank you for being here, and we're going to show you how it's done. Toastmasters is a place not only to grow and learn, but to have some fun. So are you ready to rumble? So I am now going to turn over the mic to Cricket. She's online, our club growth director. Can you tell us the mission of the district?
I surely can. We build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence.
And I'm going to turn it, well, I can acknowledge the dignitaries if you want me to. We're good. Okay. I have a horrible cough. You may be introduced to it sometime today. I'm not dying, I promise. I don't have COVID. I just have an annoying, awful cough that I've had for a long time. So, it sneaks up on me sometimes, but it'll pass, I promise. Dignitaries that are here today. Now, Jen usually does them in order. That might be a challenge for me, but I'm going to start with Michael Dalton. Distinguished Toastmaster. Robert Humphreys, past district governor, distinguished Toastmaster.
Look at the front. Focus on her. I'll do this.
Melissa McGavick. Our very special Melissa McGavick. She's done so many things, Toastmasters. We love you and appreciate you, Melissa. Thank you. Well, I guess if I wanted to be funny, I could do Jane Humphreys twice. Because she's been district director twice. But I won't do that. Bob Johnson!
Now, just now.
Stephanie Scott 3 times. Don't Now online, can we scroll just so I don't miss anyone?
These are all the people.
Okay, then we don't have anyone online. Okay, that's it. I'm going to turn the mic back over to our Toastmaster, Tamika. Leslie.
Yes, thank you, Stephanie. She touched on something that touched my heart, how much Toastmasters can change. I mean, if you see me from day one when I joined and me now, it's a completely different person in a good way. Stay tuned. It's time to begin our Summer TLI. To kick off today's events, we have something special for longtime Toastmaster Sam Weider, DTM. Please join me in welcoming Sam Weider.
Well, all of you are turned on already. I still have to turn myself on. So, is there a doctor in the house?
We all need a technology doctor every once in a while. And while I'm getting myself put together, it could take a while. I have a question for all of you to ponder. Just how far will your Toastmasters journey take you? When I joined Toastmasters over 40 years ago, I really didn't know. But as I got more involved in the program and stepped into the role of being a leader, suddenly the door had been opened for some possibilities I could not even have imagined. Let me share my story with you. When I was a young man of just 25, I joined a Toastmasters club where I felt alive. We gave amazing speeches, and when we were done, the whole group applauded. Oh, what great fun. At these magical meetings, I was eager to speak, always looking for ways to perform at my peak. My passion for speaking just wouldn't fade, as I found creative ways to entertain or persuade. Then a veteran member said this to me: "You've got great potential. I like what I see. All you bring to our club is truly supreme. So will you be a part of our leadership team?" Come be a leader. You'll be a pro. Come be a leader. Who knows how far you can go? Come be a leader. But there's one thing I know: Toastmasters International will help you to grow. I then rose to this challenge and stepped up to lead, playing different roles to help our club to succeed. One thing led to another, and the next thing I knew, I was the club president and cheerleader too. Then as I joined other business groups, I found them in need of members who were willing to step up and lead. So I jumped right in without batting an eye. I said, "You need a leader. I'm your guy." Now my leadership journey wasn't yet done. This was just the beginning of much more to come. I then found other ways to inspire the troops by leading public seminars and mastermind groups. I am a leader. What do you know? I am a leader. Who knows how far I can go? I am a leader. And there's one thing I know: Toastmasters International will help you to grow. The skills I was building when I stepped up to lead were just the ones I needed to help me succeed. Then as I grew as a leader, it was easy to see I had unleashed the potential to be all I could be. Of course, my life seemed to twist and turn, and along the way there was so much to learn. But as my story unfolded, it became crystal clear. I had learned some things that people needed to hear. I had a story to tell and something to say, and I found that I could share it in more than one way. I wrote a couple of books, then made a documentary movie. Then I wrote a dozen songs, and oh, they were so groovy. I am a leader. What do you know? I am a leader. Who knows how far I can go? I am a leader. And there's one thing I know, Toastmasters International will help you to grow into a leader. You'll be a pro, can be a leader. Who knows how far you can go, can be a leader. For there's one thing I know, Toastmasters International will help you to grow. Toastmasters International will help you to grow. So come, be a leader. Madam Toastmaster, take it away.
Thank you, Sam. This TLI is a bit different from what we have been doing. For the first 2 sessions, in person and online, will be part of a hybrid meeting. When club officer training begins, we will split into breakout rooms. Online, will form their own Zoom call with 5 breakout rooms. Presidents will be split between in-person and online. Secretary, treasurer, sergeant-at-arms training will be combined. VPE, VPM, and VPPR will have the online attendees merged with the in-person attendees in response to this amazing in-person turnout. Our hope is to provide the best training experience possible. Let's begin our presentations. Our first presenters are from South Hills Toastmasters.
And guess. We recruited.
They will be presenting Creating Club Quality by sharing a tale of 2 clubs. Kathy Wolf will take over as narrator from here.
This is a bring your own chair club. So some of you may be wondering what you're about to experience. Hold on, it's going to be a bumpy ride. This is the tale of 2 clubs. So pay attention, see what you like, see what looks familiar, see what looks new. Be careful what you adopt. But we'll talk about it after. As our scene begins, our lovely club has gotten together, in theory, to have an amazing club meeting. Let me introduce you to some of our characters. We have our president, who is a bit of a frazzled club officer. Some of you may be able to relate. We have our timer, who sometimes remembers what timers do. We actually managed to get a guest to our meeting today. We just didn't really tell that person how to find the meeting. We have our own resident, fully qualified, won every award, won every contest, DTM, and many other things she'll tell you because she's our Miss DTM PhD VPEAS multi-contest champion. If only you could be so lucky. We also have our very overeager greeter and other members who might have joined our club. Over here. Oh. Hey, everybody.
Hi, welcome. You need to come to this meeting. You've got to come right now. So awesome. You've got to come. Come on. We got to go. Over here. Come over here. Now, go.
Did you bring your chair? Hey, Mr. Toasty, what do we have to do?
I don't need that.
Yes, you do. Yes.
What?
You do.
Oh, well, I could scream loud enough for that too.
No, you can't. They are spread wide and far and apparently couldn't find the meeting either.
I think we're supposed to get started now. Oh wait, we don't have the agenda printed. Does anybody know where the agenda is?
I think you emailed it, but I was kind of busy. I didn't read it. I didn't check.
Okay, let's just wing it. Whoa. Hi, a new lady. I am Jack. What is your name?
Marcy. What is this about? What do you guys do here?
We give speeches. Yeah, does anybody want to give a speech today?
I could give you some speaking tips for sure. You know, I have been a DTM, distinguished Toastmaster for so long. And I have won so many speech contests that I've lost the count. Marcy, right? You are in the right place because you will be hearing from the best, which is me.
That's great, I guess. So what do you just come here and meet?
Oh, did I tell you that I have visited over 100 clubs globally? And I cannot tell you how much they loved my speech. I can speak on any topic. Oh, let me tell you this time I spoke at Singapore.
So,
all the speech topics I can talk about.
as you can imagine, this conversation went on for at least the required 5 to 7 minutes. But wait, speaking of time.
Oh, wait, shoot. Was I supposed to bring the timer cards? Oh, I forgot. I left them at home.
How are we going to give her a red if you don't have the timer cards?
I don't know.
So our meeting continues to stumble along with our amazing start and our awkward silences. We had a few late arrivals, and it appears like our guest might be sneaking out. Has this happened to you? So, do you think you can do it better? We think we can do it better. Just give us a moment as we straighten up our club. And amazingly enough, when we straightened up our club, we found it grew. This is now part of our club. You guys are now part of our club. Look what a big, exciting club we have. I'd like to reintroduce you to some people that you think you might know, but indeed, this is a different cast of characters. Our president, no longer frazzled, is now confident and welcoming. Our greeter is very enthusiastic, but will not be dragging people around the building. Our timer might be prepared and remember his job. We even now have a Toastmaster of the day. Who knows, we may even find an agenda. Our guest is going to give this new club a try. We also have a membership chair, because if you have a guest, you want to make them a member, right? And then we have our extra members, because this is a great club, and who wouldn't want to be in this club?
Hi, you must be Marcy. When you decided to be here, we're excited to be here. Let me show you where you have to go, and I'll get you an agenda. Wow, thank you. Everyone seems so welcoming.
Welcome, Marcy.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We have an exciting agenda tonight, and we'd like to start by welcoming our guest, Marcy. who is here for the very first time. Let's give Marcy a big round of applause.
Welcome everybody. I'm so glad to see that everyone made it to our club meeting today. I'll be taking over as Toastmaster, and thank you, Mr. President. Tonight we have 3 incredible speeches lined up and some lively table topics to go through. And of course, our evaluators are ready to provide some valuable feedback. So let's get started.
I'm your timer tonight, and I'll be keeping track of the timing with the timer's card.
So our meeting continues on with some engaging speeches from our wonderful club members that we have. We did table topics, and we invited our guest speaker, Marcy, to speak. Marcy, you did an amazing job today for your very first table topics. Everyone, let's give Marcy a round of applause. So this has been an awesome meeting. I'd like to turn it back over to our club president.
Before we continue, I'd like to take a moment to recognize some of our members. Congratulations to Jamie for completing level 1 in Engaging Humor Pathway. Let's give Jamie a big round of applause.
Good job, Jamie.
Oh, Marcy, I'm so glad that you enjoyed tonight's meeting. And we do want to invite you to come back next time. Here is some information on Toastmasters and our club, including the application form. And I'm happy to walk you through about the different roles we have: timers, Toastmasters, evaluators, and happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. This is just so exciting. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. I really want to come back.
Oh, great. Are you ready to join?
Awesome job. Thanks, South Hills, and yes. So what did you think? Who wants to go to Club 1? Really? Who's already there, right? Maybe it's just sometimes. Who wants to go to Club 2? Yeah. So what do you think you can do to make your club look like Club 2? This is audience participation part.
Organization.
It's also speak with the microphone.
Speak with the microphone. Organization, know your role, be prepared.
Very good.
I think what the skit reinforced for me was the meeting is the product. We always need to have
something we thought about. All right, something we thought about that when you talk to your potential guests. Tell us that there's definitely mentors available to help them. They're not coming in on the cold. So, but that might ensure them by knowing that there'll be a mentor beside them to help them through the beginning stages.
I'm so glad that you broke the ice on mentoring, because there's a lot of different kinds of mentoring. So did anyone hear about our new clubs? Some of our new clubs started in October and have been enjoying their mentors for a while. One of our clubs is starting next week. And there may be 2 or 3 or 10 or 12 that follow right after. So club mentoring is a great thing to do. So if you are interested, please do let us know. Does anyone else have comments? Because if not, I'll give you a cheat sheet. We actually already gave it to you when you came in, but I'll tell you where it's at.
I chip them all to TLI. That's what I do.
You'll what? Yeah. So speaking of, how many club officers do you have here or online today?
Pretty much all of them.
All of them.
7, 8. Oh my goodness.
All of them. How many people can say that? How long have you been a club?
1 year.
1 year. And I believe I've heard a rumor that that club is President's Distinguished.
That's not a rumor, that's true.
That's both of them.
Not just the new club, but the club that started them too. So a double President's Distinguished and all 7 officers here. All right, so that's the way we have quality clubs. Okay, if you look in your program, you have to go to about the middle, but there is a page there for Moments of Truth. If you find the page, I think it's like 13. Oh. 2 before the center, I heard. Who needs page numbers? All right, anybody else? Did you see something today that inspired you to change, or that you already do and want to share your success about? Oh, I gave the mic away here.
People online.
I love the way that they encouraged and welcomed the new guests, because I think that makes such a difference how we treat our guests and develop the process. That was well explained and done. Much better in the second club.
Much better in the second club. Yeah, it's not good if you leave them wondering about the building. How about anybody online? If you want to pop off mute and have a comment.
I like the fact that they kept making her feel special. It wasn't like, okay, I give you a seat and you sit down and you just become a spectator. They kept saying her name and they said it properly. And one thing to make somebody not want to join Toastmasters is not know their name and not present yourself saying, "Hi, Marcy. You did a great job, Marcy. We love seeing you. We would love to have you back." So that's one of the things I found that attracts people. You just remember their name and not call them Riley when it's Leslie.
So well said. We didn't think of doing that. We could have. So I hope this gives you an idea of some things that you should do in your club to improve on those moments of truth. I think we've talked about many of them. Jane will tell me which one we missed when she figures it out. We did achievement recognition. We recognized our Toastmaster for completing his level 1. And for those of you that don't know, if you have people who join your club and then disappear, what I have found in our district, most likely that person also didn't finish a level 1. So we really want to make an effort to recognize all the achievements. That first speech, that first level, every level, because they're important. And that first level is kind of like when you're a white belt in Taekwondo, the first test is the hardest, make it into orange belt, because you don't know what you're doing. Everything is new, and there's a lot to learn. So celebrate those achievements when they are made. Make a big deal in your club. Give them a certificate. Put it on a slide. We didn't demonstrate that. We're not big on slides today. Just letting you know. But in your club meeting, you can give them a certificate. And if your club is virtual, you can make it a digital certificate. There's no reason not to do it. I'm in a 100% virtual club with people in multiple countries. We always do the digital certificate, and then we email it to them. So think about it, especially you VPEs. I'd now like to turn it over to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Kathy, and thank you to our South Hills Toastmasters. Here to help us in leading our club to success is our District Director, Stephanie Scott. Please welcome Distinguished Toastmaster, Stephanie Scott.
Maybe I can take my glasses on and off. My only instruction today was not to make this boring. If I showed you the slides that we've had for the last 12 or 15 years, I think that would have been a tad bit boring. So leading the club to success means bringing out the best in you so that you can help your members bring out the best in themselves. Does that make sense? That's why you're here, is to learn how to do that. So the first thing you need to know about your teammates. We do know what team we're on, correct? Yes?
Yes.
What do we have on that team? Anybody? We can travel mics around for that too. Raise your hand if you're sure. I'm gonna start picking people because I know you know. Come on now. Who's on the team that you're here to learn with?
Leaders.
Leaders.
President.
Yes. Come on, Jenny. Give it to me.
President.
President. Who else is on the team that you're here to learn about and with? Vice President of Education. Vice President of Membership. Vice President of Public Relations. Secretary. Treasurer. Sergeant at Arms. And don't forget.
Immediate
Yes,
past
sir,
president.
Cosmo. Immediate past president. We often forget that that's a resource for us to learn some of the things that we may have forgotten or did not know anything about the previous year. They are an important part of the team. What motivates you to be here today? Why are you here today? I'm doing this all by myself, singing it all by myself. Yes, ma'am.
To support my team, so that
To
they will
su-
do well.
Yes, to support your team so they will do well. Another reason.
To learn more about my role.
Come on, Jackie. See, this is what I'm talking about. Toastmasters, yes. You want to support your team. You want to learn about your role. But also, to make this thing go around.
There's always new things every year.
Yes.
We learn from each other.
We learn from each other. And in order to learn from each other, go ahead, Kathy.
I was going to say to get energized. I get so much energy out of everybody else just telling me all the things.
Yes. The key part of this is motivation, correct? When we leave here, we want to take that energy back to our clubs. How many people have executive committee meetings on a regular basis? That's a pretty good number. How many have consistent executive committee meetings throughout the year? Okay. So it's about getting the momentum and maintaining the momentum. Part of that is you gotta get to know each other. You gotta know that Stephanie's working until 8:30, so she might not be able to meet until 9, or on her day off. Or you schedule and plan a day that we have a consistent meeting so that she can be there. You need to know that Samantha has childcare and she can only meet during the mornings. You want to find out what motivates your team so that you can work together to encourage each other and also find out how you can continue to help your members. Now, if you had to write down one thing in the program booklet, write down one thing that motivates you. Just one. We can do 3s, but we'll do one. One thing that motivates you.
It's also important to understand the reason why you're here, or the reason why you're meeting together as a team, and that is to support your members, and how you can best do that. So having a goal in which you are all gathered around and connecting with is important. Toastmasters International has a very good habit of trickling things down the rank. The Club Success Plan, starting next year, will be a requirement for you before you could even consider being a distinguished club. Why do you think that that's important? Or do you think that that's important? There's a question. How many people have done a Club Success Plan for their clubs? And it's in the Toastmasters Club Central. That is going to be something that's going to be required. Did you find it easy, those of you who have done it? Did you find it easy to complete? For those who did not complete it, what were your obstacles?
In order for audience participation to work, the audience needs to participate.
Nick! He's taking a picture.
Wasn't able to do the plan. Lack of motivation. It was a hard time for me. Lost a job, had a son on the way, trying to figure out a lot of things, and I just couldn't get the club officers together.
The microphone's not good.
I'm trying to use the mic. That's right. Hello? Bueller?
So, Nick said that he was going through a lot. He lost a job, having his first child, and could not get the officers motivated.
That is correct.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Nick. Anyone else?
We almost didn't complete ours because there's a few boxes that seemed not applicable to us, so we didn't do that. And then we just skipped that question, and then we got to the end and they didn't count it. It's like, oh, you have to answer all the questions, so we had to put not applicable in a couple boxes. So.
Some NAs. Okay.
All the boxes, don't forget to sign at the end, digitally.
Anything else? So let me talk to you about the Distinguished Club Plan. For those of you who do not know what that is a set of goals that Toastmasters has put together that they feel represents things that make a club exist successfully.
The necessities, right?
So, back in the day, people used to talk about points, points, points. If anybody knows me, they know that I hate that with passion. Because being a distinguished club is not about points. Being a distinguished club is about recognizing the achievements of your people. So, you're not a point, you're not a point, you're not a point, you're not a point. Melissa knows she's not a point. These are people that care. You're here today because you care. You care about your members, and therefore, whether you've been here 28 times or you've been here for the first time, you're here because you want to learn how you can best serve your club within your role, along with your team. That's not a point, that's a person. That's somebody who cares. That's someone who is dedicated, and that also demonstrates to your club that they have officers who care about them. I get passionate about this because this is not about a number. It is about people, and that's what we do here at Toastmasters. We are here to help and serve our folks. So, goal number 8 deals with, goal number 9 deals with how many club officers get trained. And of course it says a minimum of 4,
But what about those people that don't show up to training? They probably don't show up to executive committee meetings either, because they don't see the importance of it. We bring them here to bring the team together so that they understand that we have to work together to support the club. Now, I'm not going to pretend that there aren't difficulties with that. When you see a club that is struggling to elect officers, that is a club that is struggling, and that is a club that needs your help. So that's the first sign. That is the signal to us as district leaders to help those clubs. Now, that's half of goal number 9. The other half is coming to winter TLI, which is just as fun. There are makeup trainings. Makeup trainings are not as fun as in-person trainings because, first of all, you don't get fed. Second of all, you don't get to meet the people that are here to help you also as club officers. Your district team is here. They are here to help you. So you're able to make that connection. You're able to give that feedback. Hey, this isn't working so well. We need you to look at this, talk about this. So, motivation is finding out what works for you as an individual club officer to share with your team so that you can then work together towards the goal of serving your members. The other goals are educational goals, 1 through 6. It's varying levels of, and there is something in the program booklet too for the Distinguished Club Program.
It's in the center.
Because it has changed.
The centerfold.
Yes, the centerfold, I'm told. So if you're looking for it, if you can't find page numbers, the centerfold is where it is. It's where it lives. So, it's not points. Growing membership, adding members to your club, that's important. That's why it exists. Now, is 4 an arbitrary number? Not sure how they came up with 4 and then 4 more, but it's people. You're sharing Toastmasters with people, getting them to come into your wonderful club, not club number 1, but club number 2.
I think I know, and our past district leaders can confirm if I'm right. You want 4 and you want 4 more because the average turnover in a club over an extended period of time could be as high as 8. And if you add 8 people every year, you've added a new club every year. And you keep your club strong and new ideas and give your existing club members a chance to mentor. How did
You did well, Kathy. You always do well, Kathy. That's awesome. Yes. So there are qualifying requirements for that, but leading the club to success deals with the motivation. The motivation is getting together as a club. And what is that saying? When we fail to plan, we fail. Come on now, Toastmasters. Right? You get to know about your team. And you get to decide how you are going to fare in the Distinguished Club Program by having a conversation. Now that conversation doesn't look like, oh my God, Sam, I need you to get that level 1 done. You gotta get it done like tomorrow. Because we won't be distinguished if you don't get it done tomorrow. That's not the conversation you have with your members. The conversation is with the officers. The conversation with the member is, Karen, I know you were working on it. How are you working? How are your goals coming along?
I meet regularly with my VP of Education. I meet regularly with my VP of Education who assures that I keep moving and get my speeches so I can...
You don't have a mentor, Karen?
Yes.
Okay, you have a mentor.
Mentors.
And your mentor's working with you on your goals. Yes. I hadn't heard you speak in a while. I love that last speech, by the way. Just looking forward to that next one.
There's always a next one.
There is always a next one. Looking forward to it. That's the conversation. Not the Sam conversation, but the Karen conversation. And then we come back to the club at our executive club meeting and say, hey, Karen's on track. And they just scare Sam away from the club. Karen, is something that's important. The connection that you make with your people is important. When you see someone hasn't shown up, that always shows up, that's a signal, that's something. You don't leave them hanging for 4 months and then you contact them in June and say, hey, you planning on renewing? Does that feel like somebody that cares about you? No. Caring happens throughout the year. So they talk about SMART goals. Now, with the Distinguished Club program, you already have goals. But what about SMART goals do we not have that's already written for us? Now, SMART goals are specific, measurable, actionable,
time-bounded,
realistic, and time-bound.
Oh, I missed it.
Timely, yes. So, specific, I think four new members is pretty specific, right? What is missing in that goal that a conversation needs to be had around? Retention. Okay. But what are we missing from that goal if we're looking at it as a SMART goal? We have that it's measurable. Yes. Bob. Thank you, Bob. Bob. But that's a good point, right? So if we want to get 8 new members, do we want to get them all in June? That's not the ideal. But if we're having executive committee meetings, wouldn't it be easier to try to get 1 member a month starting in July? Starting in August? Right? So that it's not the rush. Life happens, people go. You lose your job, your husband is in the military, you're moving to Texas. Now with the virtual clubs, you could still be a member of a club in Texas as you were in Pittsburgh. That can still happen in our days and time. But life happens, things might get a little heavy and people fall off, but it doesn't mean that they don't want to come back. And if we show that we care, then we can have that conversation, right? I had someone who's a member of our club. She is moving. She's going back and forth between her daughter and grandkids in Texas in our club. She couldn't come to the club meetings because she's knee-deep in boxes, but she wanted to have breakfast with me. So we had breakfast, and we had a good time. Found out when her ETA was for coming back to the club, and the thing about Toastmasters that is so beautiful is that this journey is the member's journey. They could run, or they could look at the roses. It's their journey. It's our job to learn about their journey and figure out how that fits into our goals. That's the Stephanie Scott philosophy. You don't harass people in Toastmasters. You care. You care, you find out what they want, and you find out what they want to get out of it. If they get out of it what they want to get out of it, they will be and they will remain in the club. But sometimes if they get out of it what they want to get out of it, they've gotten it and they're gone. So there's that too. That doesn't mean that that's not successful, it just means that they've gotten what they wanted to get out of it. So we are encouraged to look at our clubs. I put empty pieces of paper on the table because they want you to do a SWOT analysis for your club. Who knows what SWOT is? I know a lot of you do.
Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for your club. That's a 4-quadrant box that you draw. Strengths in the left,
Weaknesses on
upper
the
left,
top right, opportunities bottom left, threats on the bottom right.
opportunities on the bottom left hand, is that what we're saying?
Yes.
Stephanie and
Weaknesses on the right. So strengths, weaknesses on the right, opportunities and threats. They want you to figure that out for your club. That is something that you can take a moment to do. And basically what we're saying, in order to lead your club to success, you have to know what motivates you, what motivates your members. They talk about delegation. And delegation is a tricky thing, I think, because a lot of times we delegate what we don't want to do. Delegation should not be something that you're just giving to somebody because you don't want to do it, because then they will feel like you're just giving them junk. If you give something to someone because you know that they can help you. Okay, so I don't use AI. But if I give it to Cameron and he's using AI for me, then to help the club, then that's not a cast off. That's recognizing someone's skill and having them help the club in doing that. So delegation should not just be tossing away things that you don't want to do. So think about that. You're delegating to empower. You want someone to feel that they're making a contribution. Maybe you have too many things on your plate and you need someone to help with that. That is what delegation is supposed to help you do. Caring, always important. Should not be an occasional happening. Having SMART goals means adding the time piece to it so that it's not so cumbersome and you have the conversations with your executive committee meeting a minimum of once a month, if not two. Maybe you like each other so much you want to meet every week, like I don't know, that could be a thing. If Bob Johnson was on my team, we'd be meeting every week with Bob Johnson.
Every breakfast.
Bob is the reason why I've been in this position many times, and I tell him this every time we have TLI. He was a very, very magnificent district director, and I wanted to be on his team. That never usually works out how you want it to, but that's how I started it. And when you do your SWOT analysis of your club, that is something that you can bring together with your officers when you start your success club, when you're a club success plan. Now, what are some of the difficulties that you have with club officers? Just getting together, meeting, doing, is there anything that kind of feels like it might be something that happens that you'd like a solution to? I'm gonna have Steve start playing Jeopardy music. That's what I'm gonna start having.
Oh, we got one question.
Thank you.
I think that a lot of times the executive meetings, at least for us, are online because we're in Western Maryland, in the middle of nowhere. And I think a lot of times that the struggle that we have is people talking over each other because they are leaders, and as leaders sometimes we don't let others lead while we're there. So you're trying to figure out how to maintain decorum in an executive meeting like you had in a regular meeting.
Fantastic. Anybody have an answer? What's your name? What's her name?
Tammy.
Tammy, I know we met earlier. Retention is not my strength, just so you know. But Tammy, we met earlier, yes. Anybody have an answer to that question for Tammy that they want to share as a solution? Let's give it to Bob.
For me, the simple answer is, who's running the meeting? One person should run the meeting and then hand off, as they say, the talking stick to those that are next in line.
Thanks, Bob. Mr. Scabardonis.
Call me John.
John!
I like that.
So what we like to do is we like to raise the hand. If you're online, raise the hand.
Fantastic.
Whoever's running the meeting, just like we said, doesn't call on you, you don't talk.
Like
Very
it.
simple.
Yeah, I like it. Dave?
I think we can look to some of our country leadership for how they handle these situations. The gentle lady from the Vice President of Education is recognized for 1 minute. When you allot someone time, especially in a virtual meeting, you know how long you're going to get to talk. And when their time is up, you tell them, "Madam, your time has expired." That helps keep meetings virtually running smoothly.
What does that sound like to everyone?
Congress!
What does that sound like to everyone? Seriously.
No, it's more efficient.
It feels like an officer role.
It's an agenda, people. Do we not have agendas at our meeting that have timings on it? No? Right?
Minute by minute.
If you have an agenda with time, as thank you, Dave, and with the raising of the hand, thank you, John, and Bob, when you have those things, that makes it easier. Anybody else have something that they want to share or want to ask about? Robert.
I always talk, so I was waiting to hear it. First of all, you said
Robert's Rules of Order.
John Robert. Okay, so if the president sends out information, a text message, makes a phone call to the individual officers way in advance and says, "What do you think we should talk about?" Then they get a feel for what their officers are doing. The officers should report to the president, "This is what's going on, this is what I said I'd do, this is what I've done, this is what I need to know." If the officers get back to the president doesn't chase them down. Then when they get to the president can say, "You know, that's something maybe you and I can handle on the side, because we only have a half an hour for the meeting. Some things can be done before the meeting comes up, and then it's a matter of a short report. Some things should not be talked about during the meeting because they might be volatile, and they need to be handled one-on-one between the president and that officer. That way it doesn't go on and on with an argument.
Yes.
When the meeting is held, the president knows what everybody's going to say, pretty much, which way everyone is going, and they can keep everything running in on time."
Yes, sir.
That's my club.
So my question is, crickets. Oh yeah, we all have these things. Crickets. I've sent the text. Crickets. Crickets. Nobody's responded to me. Then I become a harasser. Hey guys, like, we're a communication organization, are we not? How about I don't have anything to add? Would that help me stop hounding? Right?
RSVP, the courtesy of a response is ideal.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Correct. Is that for me? Just wondering how much time I have left. Any other situations? Tana?
We had a meeting our last meeting. We had so much fun. The word of the day was something everybody could use. We had speeches. The one woman, two brand new members both did speeches. And the one woman did a speech, and she was talking about a morning with her, and she hit an animal, and she was so afraid and killed it with her car, and she was so afraid how her son would take it, and he said, "Mommy, I didn't hit the animal, you did." And everybody busted out laughing. And we were done with the meeting. It just was so much fun. And we got done. And so often, I'm so focused on the agenda. We do well with that, but we're always so serious. You know, we're so serious. Sometimes it's just nice to pick a word of the day that everybody can use and have fun doing it. So we got done, and I had recruited my mother, and she's still coming. And we got done, and she said, "That was such a good meeting." And I just thought, hey, that is so important to have fun, and maybe have a meeting once a month where everybody just talks, just have a good time, or try and incorporate a fun time. I wish I could do that all the time. Have those fun ones.
Fantastic.
Clint, I saw you online. Raise your hand. Looks like you want something.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I feel like this is just a little bit late, but I think it might help with one of the original questions where we were asking about how do you run an online meeting. One of the things that I'm, I think, wanting to share is you need to be cognizant that a lot of times it feels like, especially when not everyone is online, the online participants seem almost like a second-class citizen in the meeting. So I think just recognizing that is really important. Making sure that when you're going around the individuals who are present, physically present, that you also include those. And then I think the other thing to remember is just technology. Sometimes there is a delay, and I think that introduces maybe us talking over one another. And so just maybe having that little counter in our head to make sure that those pauses, and they may feel awkward at times, but just making sure that that person is done before we contribute. Again, I know we had moved on from that. That's where I had raised my hand. I'll just have those few comments for everybody.
That's awesome. Thank you. We appreciate that contribution. Yes, sir.
And another contribution I want to throw in is adding on to having fun is it makes it easy for people, especially when you have not 3 speeches like for some meetings, putting times for the feedback to a feedback. I mean, I've always thought of that being important, like when you get a feedback about a speech or about maybe not a table topic, but especially about a speech that you made. Having maybe not having the evaluator giving a feedback, but anybody else who can provide a feedback after the meeting. I've always thought about this. There's always a lot of other people who want to say something, sometimes very positive, but we just don't have the time because it's an hour. So when you don't have 3 speeches or part of building into the agenda, it would be nice once in a while, once a month, once to let even the people who are not evaluator give us feedback on the speeches.
You can actually do that every day. Then we're going to go back to executive committee meetings because we're talking about club meetings right now, but we're getting back to executive committee meetings. Just 1 second, Stu. One of the things that we have in our club is there is a form that gives you like a little piece of paper that you can write on for the first speaker, second speaker, third speaker, so that everyone can write a comment to that speaker and hand that to them, even though they're not the main evaluator. It's a great point, because sometimes you'll get feedback that she didn't have enough eye contact, and then the other feedback is, oh my God, great eye contact. So, yes, Stu, executive committee meetings, please.
On the executive committee meetings, the topic of technology should come up and be discussed. I know that at, for example, Dawn Patrol, I don't think anyone here is here from Dawn Patrol. I'm not representing them, but technology is something that we have worked with in the past. We do have online meetings, but our technology person always forgets to bring the charge cord. And always and even if he did, we didn't have the 5-foot extension that would allow him to actually plug the thing in, and so we were losing our online people 15 minutes before the end of the meeting 3 times in a row, and as a result, we've lost people.
Yeah, that's difficult.
I spent $5 and bought them a cord. It's like, why couldn't they do that? But that's the sort of thing not being talked about, and so we're losing people as a result of simple stuff.
Thank you, Stu.
We have another.
John.
John has a comment about regular club meetings, sorry. Going back to that one.
So,
because
yes,
I want to reinforce Valentine's.
Yeah.
We call them Valentines.
Yes.
If every time you give a speech, you get 8 or 10 Valentines from all the people in the room, you're going to get feedback that is absolutely pertinent to your speech, regardless of what your evaluator is going to say, regardless of how you think you delivered. You're going to get everybody in the room giving you how they felt, how you affected them. That takes 2 minutes. And we allot 2 minutes after every speech for people to scribble Valentines.
Yeah, that's awesome. Executive Committee Day, thank you.
An online form?
In the
Or
chat.
Yeah, but we try to do it unique, so that people can't be identified, and I was just wondering.
Hard.
I was curious how you can do that online and not be identified whenever you, I mean, not that, it's just. So Valentine's implies positive, right? There's no negative anything. Okay. So there's positivity flowing from the heart. Got it. Not negativity. Dave.
So for executive committee meetings, I want to touch on a couple of things that you've mentioned here. One of them being the SWOT analysis. And something I think could be valuable is to use a SWOT analysis for each of the officer roles. As you review those officer roles, you ask them, let's perform a SWOT. What are we doing well with membership? That's a strength. What are we doing poorly? That's a weakness. What opportunities do we have to grow our membership? And what are the threats for our membership? Members not renewing, members deciding it's inconvenient to come, well, maybe you need to go online. So I think using that concept that you've introduced here, talked about, is something that could help an executive committee meeting be more successful.
Absolutely. Thank you. I do like making executive meetings more fun. I think there should be a time period, like I said, it's about getting to know the people that you're working with. You know, in Toastmasters, we end up being a family. Right. Because we come to these things and we see we see people we know, we see new people, we embrace them into the Toastmasters way of life. When my sister went to Shanghai and she moved there, I said, the first thing you must do is find a Toastmasters club. Because I don't feel comfortable unless I know. You go straight from home to Shanghai, really? Toastmasters has to be in there somewhere. My advice also is to learn the moments of truth. The moments of truth, which is in your handbook as well, is the guide to having a quality club. If you are doing those things and you're evaluating whether you're doing those things with your club, then you can understand whether you're having a measure of success. Okay, so I'll give my old story. This is old. This is pre-COVID. This is when I was first a VP of E. I got assigned to VP of E, didn't know what the heck that was, and then found out I was the second in command in the club, and I said, what? I haven't even joined yet. One of the things, I'm doing all the things. I'm making sure we're having advanced speeches. There's 3 speeches on the docket. I'm rocking and rolling as Vice President of Education. This is all going well. Then we did the moments of truth. I had agendas, I had everything. I know I was killing it. I thought I was killing it. The feedback I got told me I was not killing it. Because they didn't know the difference between an advanced speech and a regular speech. They didn't know there was a difference. There were things on the moments of truth that I should have been doing, that I thought I was doing, in my head I was doing it, but apparently it didn't land. So the reason why you as club officers start with the moments of truth evaluation for yourselves is to see if you're even entertaining those things in your club meeting before you give it to your club. Have that discussion. And then give it to your club. They will let you know if you're doing it or not. So it is good feedback for whether things are being done that will make people come back. Because you want them to come back. You don't want them to come and say, oh, that was great, and you never see them again. Nobody wants that. That's not the goal. Any other questions? Anything anybody want to share, Nana?
Yeah, so one thing I do feel with the executive committee meeting, so the VPE, VPM, VPPR, and the president, they do have a lot to share, and they might be more motivated to come, but for the treasury or certain arms, they might not have a lot of information to contribute, so that might demotivate them to come and contribute additional time to Toastmasters. I don't know if anybody has any solutions to that.
Anybody have anything they want to add to what Anna's saying? How do you get this? First of all, secretary's not coming to the meeting. Who's going to meet minutes? Just saying. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was wondering, how do you deal with the phenomenon that Toastmasters is very ritualized and there are a lot of procedures, and when you're a new person coming in for the first time, it can be pretty intimidating to think, how am I going to remember how to address people? When do I shake their hand? When do I sit down? How do I talk? And so it can seem like, oh, well, I can never figure all that out. How do you make sure when you're welcoming guests and explaining things to them that it takes time and it's okay if you don't know, for example, how, you know, the gesture cat works or, you know, these different roles?
Yeah. So, answer, folks. We should be screaming that from the rooftop.
Mentor.
Dave.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
John.
Yes. Mentoring.
Yes. You pair a mentor or a new member with an experienced Toastmaster so they can explain during the meeting what is transpiring and what's coming next.
Hello, sir. It's good to see you. You're looking good. Say hi to George. Woo, I love it. Nice, 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 nice. Thank you, George. Yes. Aaron. Oh, Sharon. Aaron, go first.
So, I was a new member, and I knew nothing about Toastmasters. And I can say that I was that member that had no idea what was happening. And I used the internet all the time. So for me, I pulled it up on my phone, but my husband was with us, and he's not an internet person. And he was like, what are they doing? What are they doing? So I think having a cheat sheet that's a welcoming letter for all guests that come in the door, that's a cheat sheet. It's like a little glossy little thing, it could be a bookmark or something, so that they can then take that as their gift of being a guest and have that information, which, you know, on the back, you just might happen to have a cute QR code that tells you how to join. Because that's something that I created for myself, which Sharon laughs at me, but I have like this notebook that I created myself that has it on the front.
All the things.
And then on the back it had, and they ended up doing this sheet, this was after my first time, but on the back had a sheet that said, you know, what's red, what's yellow, what's green, what type of speaking etiquette, what's your cultural values, but I made it into what I take to every meeting. But of course not everybody takes notes like that, right? So if you have something small that's cheap, right, you don't want to have to make it all glossy and everything, but if you have something like that, I think that would help a lot for new members and as well as those that don't come all the time, right? They seem to forget sometimes what red and yellow and green means.
So I think also that that's part of the discussion when you get into your breakout sessions, because those of us who have been here for a while, we know where that lands and where that should land, where that should go and where that should appear. So hopefully, when you do your breakout sessions, you can have those conversations and understand where those things can fit and who's going to help improve that for the club. But these are all good things. And you will learn all good things here today. Yes, Sharon.
I think there's several things we can do as individuals, as club officers, that can truly impact our club and our clubs and our community. For example, if your president has a vision and a specific vision, there's so many things. The roles is just so vast. There's so many things you need to do. But if you are specific about what your vision is for this year, I'm president this year, at the end of this year, I want to be president's distinguished. Or next year, I'm going to be Smedley distinguished. I'm going to make history next year because it's the first time Smedley distinguished is going to be implemented, and our club is going to be Smedley distinguished. And from there, the president, the chief, makes that decision, and then he speaks with his team, the executive team, and figure out what do you need to do as EVP or you, membership. What are the 2 or 3 things? Not too many, because you don't want to be overwhelmed by them. What 3 things you can do in your office to make this goal of us becoming Smedley distinguished a reality? Just by starting there, I think the roles you'll be working more specifically on things that you need to get done in order to accomplish that goal. And in doing so, you're accomplishing the club's goal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. John?
Now I'm going to stand up. Because Sharon's here.
Thank you.
I feel better when
Modeling. Great.
Exactly.
I love it.
Going back to potentially some officers not feeling like they're a big deal and maybe can skip the executive. What I like to do, since I'm closing my 5th time as president, is I actually say, look, we're going down the list and every one of you is giving a report.
That's right.
You got 2 minutes. Tell me what's up. Tell me what you need. Oh, by the way, every one of you is a candidate for president next year.
Yeah, John.
You've got to be an officer before you're a president.
I love it.
And what I've done way back in the dark ages when we had the Bear Club is I was actually modeling treasurer becomes president next year. Egon. You didn't do it, I'm sorry. He went for Sergeant at Arms. But you know what? Sergeant at Arms for president can happen too. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
May I?
Jane wants the mic.
Yeah, I want to piggyback.
Oh, I want to piggyback on what John said. It's not too early to start finding your replacement. To find your replacement means you can move on to the next level. And if the club has a traditional succession plan, you start from sergeant at arms and move up. And by the time you get to president, you know what everybody's role has been because you've lived it yourself, and you can better support your other club officers in doing that. And also, if you have a team that puts together the technology, I know in my home club we have a sergeant at arms team because people go on vacation, they get sick, they can't make a meeting. You still need to have the technology. So in any role, don't be shy about asking for help, volunteering your help, because there's other members of the club that are probably waiting just to do something else other than just showing up at the meeting with the one particular role that you assign them to. So something to think about, replace yourself, find another member of the team, and if your club has a traditional succession plan, work it, because by the time you become president, you'll be able to support your members better.
There is no small role on that team. We had a sergeant at arms. I love this guy. He's no longer in Toastmasters, but Toastmasters has done so much for his life. His name was Bill Cummings, and this was way before COVID, but Bill and I were locked in step with Toastmasters. We fell in love with it. The first conference that we went to, Darren LaCroix was there and said, you know, if you're sitting here on a Friday night and not going out to have margaritas with your friends, you know what we call you, right? We're like, what? He's like, a toastaholic. I was like, yeah, boy, that just happened to me. I did just literally turn somebody down to go to Sammy's, which used to be a restaurant downtown, to come to a Toastmasters conference. But Bill, I did speeches about Bill. Bill was funny. I did the top 10 things Bill Cummings will do to make you a Toastmaster. Back when we had the magazine, he would read it in the elevator at work, just so people would ask him a question about Toastmasters. He'd sit on the bus with his pen on and his magazine and turn around, you know, various angles. Oh, I had a great time roasting him. But the thing that Bill, one of the roles he did was Sergeant at Arms. He turned that thing upside down. When we came in the room, agendas were set. One day we had the baseball diamond. I said, Bill, what are we doing? He said, I read that this baseball diamond thing is kind of a neat thing, so I figured we could do that. And table topics, I talked to so-and-so, they're doing table topics with baseball. It's like, oh, okay. But you come into a room and it's set up, it's exciting. The thing about this organization is, it can be whatever you want it to be. If you've got crazy things in your head that you know you can't do at work, and you have a Toastmaster family that loves you, try it. Because you can go way crazy, and your Toastmasters family will say, well, you need to bring that down like maybe 3 notches and we're good. Anybody else you did that with, I don't know. Just bring that down a few notches. But seriously, how do you think we break out of this zone? You break out by doing stuff. This is the place, this is where you experiment, this is where you play. So you've come to play, Toastmaster officers. This is the place to do it. Toastmasters. Where leaders are made. I guess I could stop there, but no, just kidding. But seriously, step outside of that box. Don't be afraid. If it's time for it, people will let you know. If you need a little bit more, you know, if the cake isn't quite set and it needs a little bit more time in the oven, your family will let you know that as well. But this is the place to let go, let loose, and try things. Because we will give you love, encouragement, and the sandwiched evaluation. This is what you did great, this is what you need to improve on, and we can't wait to see you come back and do it again. So, leading the club to success again. Knowing what motivates you, what motivates your members as well. Working together as a team on that executive committee, making sure that you show care, love, and concern for your members. Knowing what your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are. Getting together as a team on a regular basis to continue to have these conversations and to set goals that are smart and that also have times attached to them. You don't have to run the race at the end all the time. It's worthy to run the race, I'm just going to say. But we can break this up. If you don't have monthly goals, have quarterly goals. I just wanted to check before we end this session to see if anyone online has any wonderful platitudes they'd like to add. Michelle, give us some wisdom, lady. I see you.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Actually, this was a great reminder of how we need to bring more people into the group itself and how Toastmasters as a whole values what people have to say and what people have to think. And that's one of the things we need to remember in our meetings. It's not the officers club, it's the members club. And what the members want and what the members think and how they want to operate, officers need to keep that in mind. I love how you're kicking this off, Stephanie. I think we're going in the right direction. And I know this is going to be an awesome year.
Thank you, Anyone else online have anything they want to add?
Hi, this is Siva Bala Devarapalli from Ranger Club. Hello. I would like to seriously think about future of the Toastmasters. In that case, how do we attract the Gen Zs? So that's the future, right? We need to really think how do we recruit that Gen Zs, embedded them into the leadership. They can change the game for the Toastmaster.
Okay, thank you, Siva. Anyone else online have anything they'd like to add?
Hi, this is Jamila.
Hi, Jamila.
How are you?
Good.
It's Jamila. I know people sometimes mispronounce it, so it's Jamila.
Hi, Jamila. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. So I'm going to be secretary treasurer of my charter, so I'm looking forward to that. And I also know a bunch of educators in the community and leaders of the community, and I will bring them in to our charter. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hello.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi.
I'm Jim. I'm going to be the BPM of the Pingers Association. And I just wanted to say it was a great presentation, and I learned a lot. I'm new to Toastmasters since December, and what I've learned is that it really is a family. We do care about each other and want each other to succeed, and that really gives people confidence to step up and share what their thoughts are. And yeah, I wish I could have been there in person, but I'm kind of multitasking today. So thank you for your presentation.
Thank you for being here, Jim. We appreciate that.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, this is Leo. I will be the president of the Priority Speakers Club this year. Yeah, that's a great presentation because I went the previous presentation. I was not in the position as the president, and then as the reminder for everyone that the president should set up the vision, the goal for the club. I think that's very important, and then put me in the different view as the lead of the club. So this is a really very unusual because I never thought that way as the club lead, and then this training really make me think, act, and do at the club lead. So thank you so much for your training, presentation, and everything.
Awesome, thank you. So, are we ready to get trained? Yes. Yeah. And that's all I have for you today. And I'm going to turn it over to, I'm going to turn it over to Tamika.
Another round of applause for Stephanie. How many of you need to use the restroom? Okay, fellow Toastmasters, we will take a 10-minute break. After that 10-minute break, we will start the club officer training. On your program, it should say where the breakout rooms are, where the rooms are for your particular, it does not. Okay. Inside the front cover, it's a chart. It looks like this. And it will say what rooms. At the very top. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
How about that? Okay. It is in there, it is at the very top. So if you are a secretary, a treasurer, or a sergeant at arms, this is your room. Okay? The presidents are down that way to the boardroom. Everyone else is to come out here, go to the right. And there's some signs down there. If you get stuck, we'll be out there, we'll help you find it, okay? And I believe we're resuming at 10:40.
And then
Real quickly, how do we do it on Zoom? I will be creating breakout rooms, and I shortly will be open them and allow you to choose which one you want to go to. Thanks, Chris.
Sharon and Howard, I'm from District 10. Nice to meet you.